Josh Abbott joins us right now via telephone. Josh, how's it going today?
I'm doing excellent, man. Just got done working out, got the blood flowing, and it's a beautiful day.
All right. Good to know. Yeah, your post-workout interview is here. And
yeah, there you go.
So what's been going on? Give us the latest on what's going on with Josh Abbott.
Well, man, right now we're just really just touring. We're not really, promoting anything specific. We did just get done recording a new album. And I say get done. We're actually not even finished with it. We've recorded 11 songs for the next album, and I'd like to record about 15 or 16. So we'll go back in the studio and do more. And so anyway, we're just kind of in the process of finishing up the album, figuring out some timelines for release dates and things like that. But mostly just trying to have a great time this summer. Just enjoying life, honestly. I think that's kind of what the band is just loving doing right now. We're not overwhelmingly busy with radio tours and all sorts of promo stuff. We're playing a lot of really fun gigs, it seems like, this month and all through the summer and into the fall. And so I think our goal is just to smile, enjoy the sunshine, and get healthy and eat right and just live life.
Sounds like all around you and the band are in a really good place.
Man, we actually are. I mean, I went through a really hard time the first probably 3.5 months of this year with some personal stuff that I kind of brought on myself and had some problems in life. I just decided to correct those problems, and through me getting healthier mentally and physically and everything, it just seems like that kind of transferred over to some of the guys in the band. And so now we show up to towns and there's 3 or 4 of us that go work out together, and we try to eat right. And I mean, it's just great, man. You only get one time around on this earth, and there's just no reason not to live it to as happy and healthy as you can.
Wow, spoken truly like a guy who just got done with a good workout.
Yeah, no kidding.
All right, so is it still, though, I mean, you're keeping the regular clip of shows. I mean, obviously, we get you next Friday night at the Lucky Mule for the Taste of Country concert series, but is, the Josh Abbott Band still keeping on the regular clip, the real good busy schedule, or is it just feeling more relaxed?
No, I mean, it's definitely busy. I mean, in terms of playing shows. We're playing, three a week on average, and so we got the Memorial Day weekend shows, which are always a good time, the huge ones. Then we'll kind of settle back down to some club shows. And then in July, we're gone the entire month. We play Willie's Picnic on the 4th in Fort Worth. And then we're out of state. We're on the West Coast all the way up until we're in the Midwest and the West Coast until I think mid-August. We'll be gone for about 5 weeks. And so we're going to get to tour up through, we're going up to, let me think, Chicago and South Dakota, North Dakota, Montana, Denver, Phoenix, all across California, Portland, Seattle, Boise, Idaho. So that'll be a lot of fun. And then we get back from that, we jump right into late August, September, which is just full of, fairs and rodeos at that time of year in Texas. And so, and then we follow that up with we're doing a 2-week tour with Casey Donahue going up to New York and back. And so, man, it really isn't. It's going to be an insane next probably 3 or 4 months, but I just love it. That's why we're here.
Yeah, man. Busy yet relaxed. So
for sure.
Now I'm starting to understand it a little bit better. You mentioned just a couple of minutes ago, actually, that you were working on an album and you wanted 15 or 16 songs. First of all, that's almost unheard of these days to have that many tracks on an album.
But no one really does that. You know who's good about that? Miranda Lambert.
Yeah, that's true.
An album, she's always putting 14, 15, 16 songs on there. And I think I just read the other day that her new album that's coming out soon has 16 songs on there. So if we can get to even 14, 15, I think that would be awesome.
Yeah, cool. And then, that avoids the trouble of having to decide which ones to keep on. Just put them all on.
Well, no, you still have to cut songs,
Yeah.
It's weird because it sounds like from the outside looking in, it's like, well, you just choose your top 12 or 13 songs.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but what you don't understand is I write 99% of the songs, you know? So when I have to choose between songs I wrote, they're all kind of like my little babies, and some of them I like more than others.
Yeah.
Just like, parents probably with 5 or 6 kids. They may say they love them all equally, but there's got to be one that just causes them a little more headache than they wish they did. But, so, choosing the songs is still going to be hard. But I think putting out that many is just fun for the fans. The reason most people don't do it anymore, just kind of shooting the well, I guess I can't say that word on the radio, but shooting the crap here. most bands don't record that many songs anymore because because it just costs more. Think about it. You can't charge more. Whether you put it on an album for $12 for 12 songs or 16 songs, how much does it sell for on iTunes?
It's the same.
$9.99.
Yep.
And how much do you sell that actual physical album at your shows for? $15.
Yeah.
And that's the world we live in. And so a lot of people, that's why you only see them putting 10 songs on a record, because they're like, well, 10 songs, it's going to sell for the same amount anyway, and I don't have to pay for us to record more songs. And I get that business, that economics approach to it, but man, I just think fans, there's something cool about buying an album and getting that many tunes on there. Even if like 2 or 3 of the songs are just acoustic versions of the other songs on the records. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
That's kind of bonus material that I think fans really engage themselves in and really appreciate. And so I just think as an artist that, it's kind of our job to make the fans happy, to put out a product that we're proud of, something that speaks to us and means something. It's art, but in the same sense, something that fans will appreciate.
Josh Abbott joining us here on the KEAN 105 Afternoon Show. The Taste of Country concert series kicks off next Friday night, May 30th at the Lucky Mule Saloon. Josh Abbott Band with special guest Curtis Grimes on the stage. Yeah, my
boy Curtis Grimes.
Yeah.
I actually co-wrote one of his radio songs with him.
Oh, so you know him well enough to maybe answer this question. How is it that Curtis Grimes can do commercials for a haircut place and wear hats everywhere he goes?
I mean, it's just Curtis, I guess. Curtis is like literally just a good old Texas boy.
Right.
Loves to fish, loves baseball and football, kind of a real athletic build guy, loves the outdoors. I don't know if he's single or not, but I mean, I'm just going to guess that he is. He probably really enjoys life on the road.
That'll get the ladies out to the show right there.
I'm sure he loves hanging with the girls and flirting around and just enjoying himself. And he's just a really cool dude. And I wrote that song. I actually wanted to call it "Smile of a Texas Girl" because it kind of says the line, but he called it "Smile," I think. And that was one of his radio songs a couple of years ago. We sat down and we actually wrote that song together out in Colorado City, so not too far from Abilene.
Yeah. There's another thing. I mean, you're actually a West Texas guy that, Idaloo and your last album basically spoke to your upbringing and the small town living and while it didn't necessarily specifically speak to West Texas, a lot of us around here felt what that album was all about. Your connectivity with your audience out here in West Texas is pretty phenomenal. You got to feel real good about when you come out here every once in a while.
Yeah, for sure, man. I mean, that album clearly was about being from a small town in Texas, but I'll be honest with you, it was able to relate across the country. I mean, that song, Small Town Family Dream, there was a radio station in Nebraska that played that on the radio for a few weeks because they were just like, I know that wasn't your actual single, but we just loved it. And people up here love it because, that agrarian lifestyle and those small communities, they exist all across this country. And so, we don't tend to think of that even when we think of states like Oregon and in the Southeast. But I'm telling you, man, there are people from all the way from Georgia up to, Idaho that just appreciate that album because, it really represents being from a small town and, a farming lifestyle. And so I'm really proud of that album. And no matter, what else we record down the line or how many copies of our future albums that we may sell, the Small Town Family Dream album will always be one that just kind of, I feel like represents me as a person partially.
Do you strive to be able to meet that sort of connectivity with, the future works, your future releases, or is that just something that you think, you may accept as just like an anomaly?
Yeah, I think it's one of those deals when you put out an album, it should be personal because if you're writing it, the lyrics should be meaning something. But for the She's Like Texas album, that was a really, that whole album, the theme of it rhetorically was kind of the courtship of, a girl in Texas. And then Small Town Family Dream we just talked about. So like this next album that we're putting out, the theme of it is actually focused more on college. And I'm kind of looking in the past and recalling a bunch of my favorite stories from college and putting them in songs. And I think that will not only serve people who, are outside of college and they're looking back on the glory days, but also obviously it will be very relatable to a lot of our demographic who are college kids now. And so I think that anytime you're writing, that you always want that, authenticity to kind of show. You don't have to pander, and you don't have to make things up. But, I think it's important to write what's in your heart, what's true feelings. And I think that those experiences can be shared with other people. So I'm really excited to see what this album will do for us in terms of people relating to it and maybe coming up to me and being like, oh, my gosh, that one song was just like me and my friends in college. And so, we'll see what happens.
What you just said, that connection, that from the heart sort of songwriting and singing that goes on, that your fans feel, I don't think that you can fake that at all either.
Man, we love what we do. And I think a lot of bands out there do. You know? When we're playing on stage every night, we're playing the same notes, hopefully. Sometimes we may have a bad night. But we're playing the same notes that we've been playing for a while. We're singing the same lyrics. But it's just weird how when you get in that moment and you're playing these songs and you're still, there's 6 of us on stage and we're creating music together. And fans are experiencing that and singing along. There's just nothing like it for me. It's probably the same feeling that, an athlete gets, no matter how many times they take the field or the court. When they get out there with their teammates and they're sharing an experience together and fans are able to witness it. Sometimes you have a really good game, sometimes you don't, and sometimes you have the game of a life and people go, man, I was there when that guy scored 5 touchdowns. I think that we've had those moments at our shows where people are like, man, that was the best concert I've ever been to. And that's really cool.
Well, Josh, I know that you're busy right now. I appreciate you taking a couple of minutes and talking with us here on the KEAN 105 Afternoon Show.
Well, I appreciate it, buddy. I'll see you soon.